This is a HeadGum podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Start building your website today at squarespace.com. Y'all can do that because y'all know that James III has already done that. JamesThirdComedy.com, third 3RD. Plug within a plug. All you got to do is go to squarespace.com and enter the offer code JUMP. That's JUMP. And you can get 10% off. That's right, baby. Squarespace. Build it beautiful. All right. Now check it out. These sites, they look professionally designed, regardless of your skill level. There's no coding required. I don't know how to, I have trouble checking my email sometimes, but I got a Squarespace website because that's how intuitive and easy to use it is. Squarespace has state-of-the-art technology powering your site to ensure security and stability. That's mad secure. And it starts at $8 a month. Y'all, I'm mad poor, but you know what I can't afford? $8 a month for Squarespace.com. You know what I'm talking about. And you get a free domain if you sign up for a year. So once again, you can start your free trial site today. There's no credit card required. All you got to do is go to Squarespace.com, use the offer code JUMP for 10% off your purchase. Squarespace. Build it beautiful.
Jonathan Braylock, James III, Jerah Milligan.
What more can I say?
You know what it is. Black men can't jump.
Welcome to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
What was that? What is
Hollywood.
Oh, we doing a bit? Okay, I got you. I'm ready.
Hollywood swing it. All right.
First white guy to talk on the show. First white guy.
You can't just jump.
History being made.
Oh, my God.
Guys, we have history being made on the Black Men Can't Jump podcast.
Yes.
Our first white guest ever, Amir.
Yes.
Boomstone. Everybody give it up?
No.
We also have a
And
second
who
white
was the
guest.
second person on the moon? I don't even remember.
I don't
No one
remember
knows.
either,
Yeah.
but there is another. There is
Buzz Aldrin.
also in the studio today. We got a Jake Hurwitz.
Hollywood. First off, I want to say one thing, okay?
Okay.
We do have two white men on the podcast.
We do.
Amir just jumped in, which was great.
White
But
man can't
guys-
jump.
Oh, technically, he does in the movie that we're reviewing today.
Oh, he
White
certainly
man
does.
can't jump.
We're doing
White
White
Man
Men
Can't
Can't Jump. Yes, it is yes, our name is a play off of this movie.
Yes.
So we're doing it.
That time.
It feels perfect, you know. We have
does.
two white guests, and Black Men Can't Jump is reviewing White Men Can't Jump.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Black Men Can't Jump, White Men Can't Jump.
Yep.
Yeah,
Black
it's
Men
Amir's
Can't
favorite.
Jump.
So can't no one can jump. We just stuck on the ground.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. So for those, I don't know, there's nobody who listens to this podcast who doesn't know who Jake and Amir are, right?
I mean, they're the
They know
bosses.
they probably
We
are.
have to. we have
maybe.
to name-
Yeah, there's got to be.
Would you guys
Yeah,
like
you're
to
right. There's gotta be.
explain HeadGum and then?
Well, as you said, we are white. What else? We have our own podcast on the same network that you guys are
That's
on.
What HeadGum?
And we did internet comedy for like the last 10 years together.
That's right. College humor.
Yes.
It's kind of weird being here because I used to watch some of those College Humor. So now I feel like I'm having an out of body.
That's true.
experience. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
This is an out-of-body experience for us too. We're on a podcast in Brooklyn. I don't know. This is fucking strange. It's really exciting though.
Quick shout out to Spreaker.
Spreaker.
Hashtag
Smart.
Spreaker.
I love it.
Download on iTunes.
I only did that because our bosses are here.
It feels like that was for Amir more than Spreaker.
He's like, they're doing their job.
Amir was mouthing Spreaker the entire time.
Yeah. So yes, we are doing White Man Can't Jump. The movie stars Woody Harrelson.
Oh, you gonna say Woody Harrelson's name first?
Well,
you gonna say Woody
That's
Harrelson?
that's
Don't you
something that we
think-
could debate.
don't
'cause,
you
like,
think? I mean, whatever.
I think
okay.
it's I think it's
He is the star. He is the star.
Woody Harrelson
and Wesley Snipes.
and Wesley Snipes.
I mean,
that's alphabetical order also.
alphabetical order, and we'll debate whether or not who has more. I mean, sure,
It's Woody Harrelson's
it's
movie.
for sure a
Yeah.
buddy movie. Like,
It's a buddy movie.
Woody's the one that goes. Oh wait, I guess
The
he doesn't
poster
really.
is both of them, and it
Yeah.
says Harrelson Snipes.
Yes, the posters both of them. It's Harrelson Snipes. They both have a lot to do with this movie for sure. But anyway, when did the movie come out? I forgot. Sorry.
1990 came out in 1992.
1992. Did pretty well at the box office.
Oh, it did great.
I think it was like $73 million domestically, like 90 million worldwide.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Pretty good. 92.
Adjusted for inflation, that's $2.5 trillion.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man, you're good with math.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wrong,
Everything
but
is
still.
$2.5 trillion.
Good at wrong math.
Yeah, I think it did pretty well with the critics.
Oh, yeah.
76% Rotten Tomatoes.
And this started like a whole buddy movie kind of trend with Woody Harrelson and
Yeah, they did
and
like
what's his
3,
name?
right?
Yeah, they
3
did.
or 4.
The one I remember is Money Train,
Money
which
Train.
starred
That is my movie.
Jennifer Lopez. When they
That's
were trying,
right.
they were trying to like rob banks, but also all vying for the love of Jennifer Lopez.
Why did they replace Rosie Perez?
Yeah, right?
With
It seems
Jennifer
like-
Lopez.
Well,
it's like a recast. Like they
we
cast
know
someone
why.
This is my thing. Rosie Perez, when I watched this movie, I was like, you know what? Rosie Perez is like, and I understand Jennifer Lopez gets a lot of credit for like the big Latin explosion, but Rosie Perez was like, she looked Latina.
Yo, she was sexual. I
Yeah,
didn't
and
realize that.
She was great, and she like, I don't know. I feel like Rosie, we wouldn't know who Jennifer Lopez
Yeah.
was.
I
Well,
don't
Rosie
like. I
Perez,
thought of
right?
Rosie Perez like Gilbert Gottfried. Like I thought like that. The point was just that she was like loud and grating. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't remember like she
I remember
was so
her side boob, like when I was not
Oh, yeah.
watching
They-
this movie.
I didn't remember that at all. I
feel
just
like
remembered
they,
loud.
They like super sexualized her in this.
They did.
Like,
They did.
particularly in the, like
They did.
like
I don't know about super sexualized.
I mean,
'cause
she
they
was
didn't-
naked more than.
But she wasn't like, it wasn't like full frontal.
I
Like,
mean, I saw side. boobs.
there's a lot of
side.
sides.
You also-
A lot of.
I mean,
There was like,
And they were
I
always
thought it
talking
was-
about fucking those two.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like
Woody
But
Harrelson gets
was-
laid in
Woody-
a lot of
Woody
stuff.
Harrelson is naked in this movie.
But this is my thing. I don't know if you guys seen True Detective season 1. Woody Harrelson gets laid on, and he was in Disclosure with Demi Moore. Getting
He has
laid.
a lot of
Woody
sex.
Harrelson, your agent is great. Okay, because Woody Harrelson, I love him, but that dude looks like an average man getting laid with like graphic
He's got, like,
sex scenes.
You know, he's got nice eyes though.
But he has graphic sex. Like these sex scenes are like Woody. I see why they call him Woody Harrelson. Man.
Oh my god!
Nice.
oh
Yeah, did it.
So
actually, the poster says Wesley Woody, not
Yeah,
Wesley
yeah.
Snipes. That's what they were known as.
Yeah.
Wesley.
Okay, so let's just do first thoughts. First impressions. Why don't we start?
first.
Why don't we start with our guests?
have you guys seen it before?
This
I
is
saw it when I
everyone
was
here
younger.
seen it?
When I was younger, I saw it.
This is I've never ever seen it before.
me neither.
yeah,
me neither.
I had seen it before, but it feels like the first time I've seen it because I feel like I was really small.
Right.
Oh, that was beautiful.
So what, Jake? You never saw it before. What was your first?
I thought it was like a B plus. I thought it was all right. I didn't love it. I guess I was also like watching it sort of like with an eye for race in
right.
the movie. Right?
Well, goodness.
So I was like a little skewed. I was like trying to poke holes at it.
Well, what was your initial impression of how the film dealt with race?
Well, the one thing that stuck out to me about it was like Woody Harrelson. I think he misses one shot the entire movie. So like the whole thing is the idea is that he's better at basketball
Right.
than Wesley Snipes or than anybody on the court. That he's not just like a white guy who's good at basketball. He's a white guy that's the best at basketball.
Right.
So I mean, I have no idea if I'm supposed to be offended about it. Should we be? Tell me.
I don't know. I mean,
No, I don't
He
think
missed
so.
that one shot.
I mean, he even dunked at the end.
Is he a pure shooter or
He
not?
does duck.
He does dunk at the end too.
Right.
and like
right.
by a lot.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you think, Amir?
I haven't really said this on the show yet, but White Man Can't Jump is my favorite movie of all time.
Whoa.
What?
And
Wait,
I
for
think
real?
I've seen it more than any movie I've ever seen. Like
Are
I
you
can
serious?
quote, I grew up watching it. It was my like movie that I watched every other day.
Wow. Why?
Yeah.
What do you like about it? So
I
much?
think at first when I was a kid, I was a basketball fan, and the basketball is super realistic and
True.
fun to watch.
Yes.
And then
it's street ball. It's
it's street
Yeah,
ball
very-
before there was ever street ball.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like 9 years old, Jewish kid from the valley watching this movie. Like,
Ah.
this is so cool.
That is
Ain't
a-
no thing but a chicken string or whatever.
That's a stereotype, right?
Did that come from that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Ain't
lot
nothing but a
of
chicken string.
phrases did, and it's so.
That's something I didn't know too.
Like I feel like Wesley and Woody had to really learn how to play basketball because some of those shots
Oh, they
were
did.
wide shots without cuts.
Well, did you guys read the oral history on Grantland?
No.
Highly recommend it.
Oh wow, no!
There's
I read
a
like
whole
Wikipedia.
History. They wanted Denzel for the movie, but he wasn't very good at basketball, so they basically had to look in a different direction. Wow. And
Of course they
Wesley
wanted
Snipes is
Denzel.
actually really good.
And
as you
Denzel
can
made a
see.
basketball movie. This came out in '92. 6 years later, he got game.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
said the same
Right.
thing to him.
I read that but the trainer that they had, who's like a professional trainer, said that both Woody and Wesley could, like the level of skill that they were at, they could start on a Division III team.
Yeah, they were like good ex-high school basketball players.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't like Division III, like it doesn't sound that great, but you have to be pretty good.
But to be able to do
start.
that and also successfully act through the film, that's like that they picked the perfect people.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been so funny if they were just really shitty at basketball, because like they took so much pride in making the basketball scenes good, and if it was just like John Stamos and Reginald Val Johnson just like dribbling with two hands, cut to him dunking.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they took down the King and the Duck.
Yeah.
They did.
Wait,
They
now
did.
I'm interested though, because this is your favorite movie, and then now rewatching it with the context of race so prevalent in your mind, did it affect the way that you saw it at all?
Yeah, because when I was a kid, I didn't actually think about that. And there's lots of stuff about gender, like how to treat a woman. Wesley teaching like how to treat his lady, and then how he should, Gloria, who's also not white, should be treated.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Woody Harrelson's very mean to his.
He says shut up to her
a lot.
The whole
Yeah,
movie.
a lot.
Like at one point, he throws water in her face.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
This is terrible. This
Well,
is-
he wasn't empathizing.
Yeah,
he
he
had to
wasn't, which is
sympathize.
the
His
point.
dry-mouthedness.
Right.
I remember that.
Right, but do you feel like the film was handling that topic well though? Because it wasn't necessarily putting Woody in a good light. It wasn't like this dude's.
Well, it was written and directed by a white guy, so
Yeah.
as far as that's concerned, I thought they did pretty well.
I thought, yeah.
Because I feel like they let the black actors improvise a lot. Like Kadeem Hardison probably was making his own.
made up all of it.
Yeah. Isn't that the best? The first 15 minutes of that movie, like him showing up, him playing, and then the shooting contest.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then when he leaves,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's such a great like first 15 minutes of the
Yeah,
movie.
for me, because this is the first time I saw it. I like the movie too. I thought it was good. B+ is probably my grade too.
Thank you.
Not that it matters, but I did notice that. Like I was like, oh man, this was like, and I was wondering like, had there not been a movie or anything depicting street talk like basketball street ball before?
I don't think there was.
Maybe not. And I think and it makes sense to me. I was like watching. I was like, oh. This is very interesting to people who've never seen this before because it's just like smack talk. They just kept being like, yeah, whatever, like Yo Mama jokes.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like, Yo Mama jokes had to be new because they said they did so many Yo Mama jokes in this movie. I was like, oh, this had to be a new thing.
Yeah, it was so good.
Because they were saying some old, real, old.
Classics.
That they were
Right,
saying
kicking
some
a
real
can down the
classics.
street. I asked your mom what she's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like your mom is so old. I said, act your age, and she died. But
Did you guys have those joke books as a kid called The Dozens?
Oh,
where it was
oh my-
just a Yo Mama anthology.
What's so
God.
crazy with this movie shows, I feel like they don't even do anymore. Like, so I feel like people call it different things. People call it Jonin, talking smack. Like it used to be called a Jonin. People call it snapping. And it's like that thing of just
snapping.
just that aggressive making fun of each other. And it's like, it's such a, for instance, it's such a level to it. Like Kadeem Hardison's character probably was like the best, and he was known for it. So like you had rules like on the basketball court. It's like, hey, don't mess with Rodney because Rodney's about to fry you up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hadn't seen anything like that. I mean, people don't do that here in New York right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting just to see that.
but not.
I mean, I feel like if I joan on people or smack on people now, they're going to get really offended and like be mad. Like, I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
just
like
like,
saying it's not the same level. It's not the same type. Like it's probably more about the person's skill level of playing basketball and much less about like trying to get at their person. Like I felt like people they were like, oh, I'm just gonna get at your personal life. Like talk about your mom and talk about your girl. Like talk about like how you're ugly. Like weird.
you go in, man. It's like you go in.
It's like it's treated like it's treated as if it's art. Do you know? Like
It
feels
is,
like
though.
because
It is.
that's-
Can I just
but the
say
thing is, the
I
movie,
thought
like,
the side boob was very artistically done.
Yeah, I like the side boob.
The side
No,
was
I'm like
my
not
favorite
trying
part,
to be
too.
like a gross dude right now. I was like, oh, they're doing an artistic side boob because it wasn't like they weren't like look at this side boob. It was just like she was in a dress. I mean, not a
tank
dress, a
top
shirt that
off
was
to
like
the
very
loose.
very
Yeah.
loose, and it was like whatever side boob we see, it's a side boob we see. You don't need to try to show it, but if it's there, it's there. If it's
It
not,
felt
it's
pretty
not.
natural.
Felt pretty natural, right?
I think Rosie Perez was kind of controlling
How
it.
did you get the side boob? We were talking
There was
about
so
making
much
fun of
side
people,
boob.
but how'd you jump?
We never stopped thinking about it.
How'd you jump?
because
He's
he's talked about something being artistic, and I was thinking about how
Oh,
artistic the side boob
okay,
was.
I just want to know how you got to the boobs.
It was artistic.
No,
side
I
boob.
agree with you. I'm just saying. We were talking about the one thing. You like, hey, them boobs were very artistic.
Rosie Perez has artistic eyebrows. All right, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
No, that was it. That was what I had to say about that.
How'd you like the movie, though?
Oh, is it my turn to say? Okay, all right. This is my initial thoughts with this movie. Okay, so the movie is called White Man Can't Jump.
What's happening?
I feel like the movie is saying this. Okay, if you look at the movie, you just look at the title.
Everybody be really,
I
really,
know,
really
there's
quiet.
so much gravitas here.
I feel like the movie is saying there's this one main white character, right?
Okay.
And the reason he can't jump for a couple different reasons, right? He can't jump in basketball, but also he can't jump in life because of his gambling problem, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like white men, if White Men Can't Jump is the name of this movie, but the only time they deal with it is when he's playing basketball, right? If you really think about it, I feel like the movie is saying white men can do whatever they want so long as they don't have a tragic flaw.
Wait, what the heck?
So, like, white men can jump all the time, but not if they have a gambling problem. If they have a gambling problem, they're going to be as bad as the black people. That's what I felt like.
Interesting.
But the black men can't jump.
You thought that they... Well, okay, there's so much into that. There's so much layers to that, I feel like. Because did you feel like the movie was depicting like all black people were bad?
Yeah, I felt like...
That like because Woody
like,
had a gambling problem, that cast him like he was as bad
because
as the
like
black guys hustling in Venice Beach.
So like they show and this is only because I was looking at this movie in the context of this podcast. But they show Wesley Snipes and like he's doing the street ball, but like he has a family, they're buying a house, they're gonna do
right.
You know what I mean? They're gonna do all this.
He's trying to get out the ghetto.
Yeah, he has all these jobs. Like he is a better man than Woody Harrelson,
yes.
right? Like in those ideas, right?
Definitively.
But then also like he's struggling and trying to get out. But I feel like it's like we're supposed to be like, oh, good, great. Isn't it great that he has these jobs? Isn't it great that he has these things? Isn't it great? But the white guy, like, oh no, he has this gambling problem, and like if it wasn't for that, he would be able to take over the entire world. That's how I feel about it.
Interesting.
That's deep.
That is deep. So here's my thing about this movie is that I think that this movie was trying to like set a very realistic depiction of like a very particular like way of life, right? Meaning like who are the people who like play ball and hustle each other, like and bet and gamble on games, like sport games, like street ball games, right? And so we're like entering that life and then we enter it through like the character of Woody Harrelson who like played college ball and just has a gambling problem in general, but like he like uses the fact that he's white and people think that he can't play because he looks goofy and he's white, which like the film deals with race a lot because of that, right? But I would say that I don't think that I didn't see them trying to make any overarching like comments.
Well, it almost like reverse deals with race. It's like, hey, white people can be good at basketball too.
Yeah, right. There was. For sure.
Like, what message is that?
Woody even says that. Woody even says that.
He's the best at it. He's
right.
Like he's unstoppable.
Yeah,
and
Woody even says like, you're just looking at me like that way because I'm white. You're racist. Like he literally calls like Wesley, like he calls him out like a couple of times.
But I think they know that. Well, but they do say like he's not the best because he's not able to go pro. Like he's not good enough to do pro. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like they make that clear. Like it's like you're not a freaking Larry Bird. Like you're only okay on this level. But it's just like, and also it's just like he's good, but he could get beat. You know what I mean? The other skills.
The only reason he ever loses is because Wesley throws the game.
Throws the game. Yeah, that's true. I mean, no. Go ahead.
No, because like he mentions like even when he loses that game, he's like, I've beaten better people than this. I've beaten better people. Like he makes
10 times better than this.
He's like, he talks about how great of a baller he's like.
Yeah, he's a good baller.
10 times better than this. Like he's like, has he ever lost?
Wait, can I just say something though? By the way, though, like because I've played street ball. If you have, because in the movie, I believe Woody's character like played college ball.
He did.
Yeah.
People who play college ball are that much better than people who play on the street.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
period. Because
Yes.
one, they can shoot shots. People on the street usually can't make shots.
They can dribble real good, though.
And the thing is, though, yeah. The difference is, like, if you can make shots, like, you can beat any person who plays basketball on a non-competitive level because they usually can't. They're good at dribbling. They can dunk sometimes. They're good at trash talking. They're good at fouling or whatever. But it's like they can't shoot. But once you get in like a professional level, just being able to shoot, you can be able to make every shot uncontested. But if you can't create your own shot, then you're not good enough to play pro. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry this is getting so technical, but it's just like it's just
Amir loves it.
Yeah. It's just like
85% from the field.
there's just the truth of that. So it was like I forgot even the point that I was trying to make with that, but I was like to me it is realistic. Like he played college ball, it would make sense that he can play better than most of these dudes
I agree.
on the street. But I don't know the way that this film deals with race. It's so complicated for me because it's like I don't know the things that like I guess let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that
I didn't say if I liked it.
Oh, I thought you did.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I also didn't say if I liked it. I really like this movie. You do? It's so good. I think it is a really.
It's amazing because
what does Jerah think? What do you like it?
No, I actually agree. I like the movie, and the thing is, I liked it because I felt like I kind of like it because of the race thing. I like it because it was in the 90s, and like the way they handle race is like very realistic up to like the time. Even now, I feel like I don't even know what would be considered Watts nowadays because clearly we're in technically Williamsburg, which used to be a bad area here in Brooklyn, and now it's like really fancy. Like that's just like if someone went to Marcy and was like, if it was a white dude in like a rainbow outfit, would just be like, hey, let's go play ball. He still would get that type of reception. It was like, what's this white boy doing here?
Yeah.
And then if he showed up playing ball, it's like to me it was so
the fact
realistic.
that it did it at all is like progressive
and the thing is they became like this is 1992 and Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes technically Woody may be the lead, but like they're built together, they're on the cover together, they become friends in the movie, and the thing is neither one of them are perfect. Like technically Wesley still lives in the hood. He's hustling. Like he has a kid. He's trying to get his wife out. Like he's kind of in a bad spot, but they kind of make him like he's like almost a little bit better than Woody. Woody's a guy who has a beautiful wife who's trying to they're trying to pay this money off. Girlfriend. And it's like he has this huge character flaws. Like he gambles at a moment's notice. So I guess James, what you're saying is right. Like his flaw makes him equal to Wesley, but it's like I like that the white guy and the black guy are equal. And then at the end of the movie, they both kind of bail each other out of a situation.
Yeah, because everybody has flaws.
For sure.
Humans have flaws.
And it's like, and the thing is, they're just two dudes after a while. Like, once they help each other out, it's like they're just two men trying to grow up. Like, just simple. And like, I know it's about like Woody being white, but at the end of the day, it's like, not really. Like his girlfriend was Puerto Rican. Like,
I think there are even a lot of like reaches to like make it about them being black and white. There's that point in the this is like skipping ahead and talking about the movie, but there's that point after the 2-on-2 when Wesley's just like, it's not about black and white, and I'm like, and it almost comes out of nowhere. You're like, why are you? It's like why are you even talking about black and white right now?
Well, there is okay. Let's talk about this though. There is a consistent thing that Woody keeps bringing up, which is, and to me, this is like, there is a point in this that I was like, this feels a little bit, I don't know, but Wesley defends it, so I kind of liked it at the end of the day. But Woody keeps saying this thing of like, look, black people care more about the flash than they do about.
He said, I'd rather look ugly.
I'd rather look ugly and win than look good and lose, right? And basically, what Woody was trying to say is that black and he did it with like, look, how much you paid for that chain? How many meals did your did
you set your family
back on? And like there is like this idea of like, and an idea that comes from a real place, right? Of like, it's like the I'm still fly. Remember the Big Timers. Big Timers, yeah. So they did this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this song, but it's like the chorus is like flip. What is it? Gator boots, the pimped out Gucci suits. Ain't got no job, but I stay shy. Yeah, can't pay my rent, cause all my money's spent. But that's okay, cause I'm still around. Yeah. It's like, ba-da-da-da, whatever.
That is a dope chorus.
We know those words.
That's the Gilligan's Island theme song, by the way. Which is what I realized about it. Now, when you look at Gilligan's Island...
Let's get into that.
No, man.
Yeah, there's like this idea that there's a certain like culture within like the urban environments, like people who like care more about the fancy, flashy things, looking nice, than actually like doing the thing that matters, right? Yeah. And so like keep bringing it up, but I think that Wesley was like, that's, even though he says like that's complete like bull, he didn't like, I don't know. I couldn't tell if the movie was trying to say that this
flashy,
was
right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the movie was like trying to say like, no, this is the flaw of the entire.
Well, but like, is that Wesley's flaw? Like, what is his actual flaw? Because Woody's is so clear. And Wesley Snipes has like a bunch of, but like, is that even? That's not his downfall in any real way.
It's like that
he doesn't get it down. He doesn't really get it.
His downfall is almost just that it sucks where he lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, it's tricky
true.
because I think it's one of those things.
He does get hustled in the beginning, though. He does.
Yeah,
because he's overconfident.
Because he's overconfident,
and cocky. Which I mean, I understand where they got
talks
that
too much
from.
too.
Right. That's got it.
It is, but the thing is, it's so tricky because I understand. I guess the writer when he's trying to pick it up, like to this day, 2015, you can go outside of like any Foot Locker, any place, and you will see a gigantic line. Most of the time, that line is filled with people of color. Like if Jordans or something come out, and that's not to say like people of color only care about like clothes and stuff, but I think it's that thing of you may have been, especially if you're from a bad area, you may have been like oppressed and told you're not worth something for so long that the way you shine, yes, you can probably still study, but the way you shine visibly so people can see it is like you have nice things. It's like I'm not as bad and as trashy as everyone thinks I am because look what I've been able to accomplish. Like I can show you what I'm doing based on this. Whether or not they have money actually is totally different, but it's just
and
when you are rich, you get a car and a big house.
Well, yeah,
and white people almost have like the benefit of the doubt that Woody Harrelson can walk in and be like, I look like trash, I'm wearing garbage clothes, but I'm still like, my worth isn't tied into that.
One of the best things and one of the things I miss about Jon Stewart, Jon Stewart had a case, it was like after, sorry I'm about to say this, it was after one of the black people got shot, one of them. I don't remember which one, but it was like one of them, and it was like, people are so tired of hearing about race. Imagine people who have to live with this. And he put up a story about Michael Che, and he was like, they were going into some fancy building here in New York City. He was like, his producer, who was white, was in the attic, hadn't bathed, looked like a little hobbit with a beard, was let right in the building. The on-air talent, he didn't say Michael Che's name, but the on-air talent was in an expensive suit, got stopped, and they wouldn't let this person in the building. And he's like, and that happened now. And it's like, that's the world people live in. So it's like, you want to exude more because it's like, I can't get a cab if I'm wearing sweatpants and Jordans and a hoodie. I would never get a cab. I can barely get a cab in a suit. I used to have to get like my old intern who was a white girl to get all my cabs. Jordana, thank you.
Even talking about that though,
just order an Uber.
Something.
I mean, sometimes
that's what I was going to say.
You don't want to have to get the Ubs,
But it's interesting that you like would infer like. That's a really great point, but they don't make that in the movie.
That's true.
I thought it was super interesting.
It'd be awesome if Wesley did say that shit. Like, he never has a rebuttal to like what he's saying. You need to look flashy. That like
he basically just is like he's like, nah, man, that's bull crap, and then that's it.
Right, but like, he doesn't explain his actual philosophy,
which made me that when that happened, I was like, oh.
But if the writer was white, he wouldn't know how to explain.
He doesn't know how to. Explain. He's just pointing it out.
Yeah, like I mean, we could defend like women all we want, but like we don't know what it's like to physically be a woman on a packed train and get in touch. Like we would never be able to like write from that experience, So like he probably couldn't either.
Yeah, I mean I think that talking about the writer just pointing it out, I think is so interesting. I saw this movie when I was watching this movie. It stood out to me that Wesley was wearing like a nice blue shirt and nice pressed pants when he was going to go to the house. And it stands out, and it's something that no one talks about it, and obviously like he just wants to look nice to show that he can rent the place,
right?
But then he also says like but I actually can't afford this, like he even still says I can't afford this, which I think like that. The change of clothes is also supposed to be a part of that commentary, but there's no dialogue that says.
I think what the writer did, which is probably great, is like he wrote like, oh, I know this happens, but I prefer him leaving it open like that than trying to make commentary and say he can't.
I do want to say that like it felt like there were very few moments in the film where I felt like they were trying to make a very poignant point about race. That being said, it did that because the only poignant point that they did make about race was this whole thing that Woody said about this is a thing that black people do, and this is and that's what your flaw is, right? Like, they made that very clear.
Though I guess at the end, Woody does do that flare, like he does dunk. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, and he like... And
well, that's his own thing.
Yeah, like the face, when he does it, and it like... and
But isn't that also a part of, like, him being like, you think I can't dunk because I'm white?
Right,
like,
then he finally is that.
Yeah, and Wesley like says the titular like.
But Woody right after that
white
grows
man
up
can't
though.
jump.
Like after that, they had that discussion of like, you know what? She's not coming back. Like Gloria's not coming back. I guess I should get a job. It's like, and he's like, can you you got a job for me? You're my only reference. Like they had that moment of like.
True. He has to get a job from a black man. I like that.
I noticed that even though the black man's office was him outside of a fast food joint, and he was like showing the tile to the white dude. He was like outside of a chicken joint with the tile, like, hey man, I'm at the office. Your office is outside of a chicken joint. Man, don't think I didn't peep that out. So I always peep out chicken joints in movies and stuff because like people always want to write something in the chicken joint.
Another thing I thought they pointed out about black people was all black people have guns. Did that stand out to anybody?
Oh, yeah. That one black guy had multiple guns in his glove compartment.
I did my other gun.
I did want to talk about. No, I did want to ask Jake Amir about this though, because I was watching this. I was like, what did you get the impression like when you watch a movie like this? I know you can't realize like what's happening subconsciously, but like when you were rewatching it, or when you were watching it, like were you like, oh man, like. Because everybody in this film pretty much is black except for Woody Harrelson, the two mob dudes, and
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez. Oh, every person's a person of color except for the two white dudes, Woody Harrelson, and then the white guys who like, oh my god, we got to talk about this though. The tournament is like wrapped by this whole like.
Old white guys,
and there's like a black hand and a white hand like shaking each other, which you're like, what the flip is this about?
Oh, that always existed. I remember growing up and like anytime.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Anytime you went into the library, like no matter where you went, it was always like the white hand, the black hand, like shaking
No, I know
hands
that, but why was it the tournament?
Because they wanted to bring like. I feel like there was
who
so
is
much
repping?
Look, man,
who are those people? Did you guys know who those were?
There was a white guy playing ball.
I
at one
assume
point,
they were
right?
like from the television station that was putting it on.
The Unity.
Okay, yeah,
all about the Unity.
But they were like putting on a basketball tournament for Unity.
Yeah,
but like I was like, what? Like
they used to do it at Rucker Park.
And like Woody and Wesley were the only black and white combo. I'm like, doesn't seem like much Unity is happening here.
But they won.
They won.
I know they won.
Don't forget one of the assassins. One of the guys was Native American.
Assassin.
Oh, really?
The
Stookie brothers.
One of the actors. One of the
The Stookie brothers were the worst actors in probably film history.
They were not threatening.
It's almost like the real actors didn't show up one day. I hope so.
Nope.
I once looked at their IMDb. I'm like, are these porn actors that they just found for cheap because they ran out of money? They were like in a few other stuff, but they're obviously. I mean, maybe the writing was bad because they often said you can run, but you can't hide, Billy Boy. I think they said that like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Right.
So they weren't doing that poorly with the dialogue.
Hey, you guys can improvise.
Yeah,
you just didn't know how.
Yeah,
it was really bad. Those actors were awful, but everyone else was so great. You don't really think about them.
All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored by Skirt. Tap a button, have a rental car delivered. Now, listen up, everybody. I know you've spent hours waiting in line at the airport or trying to rent a car, or even worse, you've been stuck at home or at your hotel, dreading the logistical nightmare of getting your rental car to the location. Enter Skirt. Rental cars delivered. It's as easy as tapping a few buttons on your iPhone and someone will show up with your rental car. Not only does the app provide convenience, it actually removes the hassle of rental car paperwork. Simply scan your license and within minutes, you can be approved for your rental. Now, Skirt is a mobile app that offers on-demand rental car delivery. Within a few taps and less than 5 minutes, you can rent a car and have it delivered to you, all from the convenience of your iPhone. They offer local delivery to wherever you are, your home, office, hotel, Airbnb. They also offer curbside pickup at the airport, making your travel plans that much easier. Now, no more time-consuming paperwork or long lines to wait in. Get out of that line. You don't got to wait in line. Look at your phone. It's right there on your iPhone. Say goodbye to your car rental counters for good. Skirts, their rental rates are insanely competitive at 30 to 50% cheaper than the other rental cars on the market. They offer amazing customer service and provide 24/7 telephone support and roadside assistance. Now, Skirt is currently available in Los Angeles and rolling out to San Francisco and New York in 2016. That's right, baby. So if you in LA, get that Skirt app real quick. And if you in San Francisco or in New York, it's coming soon. Just be patient. Now, the holidays are coming up and traveling can be stressful, so save yourself some time and money by booking a rental car with Skirt today. Go to skirtapp.com. That is SKURTAPP.com. And then you enter the offer code JUMP. That's right. So with skirtapp.com/jump, you get $100 off your first rental. That's $10 a day for up to 10 days. All right. Once again, it's skirtapp.com/jump. Get $100 off your first rental. Check it out.
Can I ask you a question about like this movie now? Can we talk about the two female leads? I need to look up
Rosie Perez.
What was Wesley Snipes? I'm so sorry. I will look up your name while we have this conversation. I think about how the two of them were treated throughout this movie. Like, for instance, like, and I feel like it's such a conscious thing now, especially like what's happening in the world. The way Wesley treated his wife was such, like, he made sure that she was an equal, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of respect.
No matter what. Like,
well, except for the one, I would say that I'm sure some feminists would watch this. I'm sure there would be some people who watch this and go, well, he does keep saying, like, when she's like, I'm going to get a job.
Oh, yeah, he tells
like,
her not to. Yeah,
which I was like,
that's
why?
true. But, like, if you look at the way, like, both women are treated, Wesley Snipes' wife is treated
Well, the
better.
reason he didn't want her to get a job, though, is because he felt like he could provide.
Right,
I mean, and
which is like a patriarchal.
Yeah, definitely. It comes from a good place, but it's definitely misguided.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm a man. Like, I'm going
I'll provide for us. Yeah.
And I think about.
Though, to be fair, at times she was like, how come you got us in this place? I mean, she apologized for it, but I was like, damn, girl, like, it's not his fault you guys in the damn ghetto.
You got robbed.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a job to get him out. It's that weird thing of, like, you know, you gotta be man, you gotta do this stuff, but you gotta still be open. But I think about the way, like, Gloria, Rosie Perez was treated and just shown throughout the movie. I think about her, and it's like, she is completely sexualized and she's almost delusional, because she, like, her whole big thing, like, her whole big job career is to get on, what was it, Jeopardy?
Yeah. Right. She has a clear, like, pretty unaddressed drinking problem, except for, like, the very first scene.
Drink every time, and then she would get mad and just start breaking stuff, tossing bottles and tables.
She's portrayed as, like, batshit crazy.
Which I like. To me, it wasn't that she was crazy. It was just like, oh, here's her flaw, and it makes you understand why she's with this other dude who's also clearly very flawed.
Yeah.
I guess
but she was trying to better herself, and it's like she's trying to better herself in a way that, like, you're right, isn't like it doesn't make the most sense, but like it was a goal that she was aiming towards.
And it's also it's difficult to watch, but her trajectory is like her at the end is she won Jeopardy and left that asshole.
Yeah.
So it's true. Like she ends up better than you meet her.
She's an independent woman.
It's just and I think that, like, it's just a shame that she is so sexualized because of that.
Right.
Because
every time like she's making good with Woody, she's fucking him. That's like,
or she like screams at one point when he leaves because she wants to have sex. And it's like, which is fine.
I disagree with this idea that she was sexual. I mean, like, only in the sense that she wasn't over-sexualized. I don't think. I think she was sexualized just as much as Woody was in the movie. Like, they had a sexual relationship. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. They liked having sex. They were good at having sex together. Like, and they also both had, like, weird ways of trying to get money. Like, she's trying to get on Jeopardy. He's trying to hustle basketball players and stuff on the court. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it was just like she wasn't just treated like a sexual object, right? Like she was smart. Clearly, she was smarter than freaking Woody. And like you were saying,
he was so mean to her though, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he was so mean to her. Like he literally told her, "This is my thing. Look, man, you ain't gonna tell no black woman shut up. Like, and she gonna take it." Like, you would have got punched in the face. He told her to shut up in front of Wesley.
That happens, like, in the movie, too, where, like, the two women stand in front of the TV and, like, tell them to move. Like, I'm not going to tell them.
Exactly. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like, are you crazy?
Right, which was, to me, them showing how Wesley treated.
But
his
also,
woman.
that
like,
shows
just
the
that they were
unrealisticness
respected.
in this movie because Rosie Perez was Puerto Rican. I've dated Puerto Rican women, and you will get messed up. You won't tell no woman of color. You won't tell a woman, period, to shut up because you will get messed up.
Do you think they
realize-
wrote that? You think they wrote that character as non-white specific?
I think they did, man. I feel like when I think about that character, I feel like they wanted.
There is a point when
She
he
couldn't
calls
be
her
black
Chiquita.
and she couldn't be white.
Yeah, I think they made like she was, and the thing is, I think she was supposed to be a woman of color because of when she comes to Wesley's house when all the guys are there. Because every time someone sees Woody with a woman of color, everyone's like, "Oh man!" And someone yells, "He got a sister!" Like they scream it, and it's like the thing of like that also makes Woody seem more down to the urban cause, if you will,
Right.
because he is at this point a part of our culture. Period. Like he plays basketball, which is like the sport everyone plays in the hood, and he has. I mean, I don't know where Rosie's supposed to be from, but I'm assuming she's from a bad area too. And it's like he has a beautiful woman from the ghetto, and it's like he's one of us. He just is white. That's the whole thing he keeps saying. He's like, you disrespect me because I'm white. So it's like the point is to make him like we're all the same. I feel like
Right.
Is Puerto Rican closer to black or white?
the thing is, man, to me, man, if you brown, you down. That's what I always thought. It's like at the end of the day, you down. Like the thing is, like, I mean, Cypher was on the show, and
He
Cypher
said it's
said
all
like
the
here in
same.
New York, he was like, it's the same, and to me, it's like, I don't care. Like the thing is, like, yeah, in the end, like to me, it's like at the end of the day, you're a brown person. If someone, like, I have a friend who's from, I'm gonna shout you out. He's from New Zealand. And he is a brown person of color. And he's been called the N-word because he just looks brown. Like when you see him, he looks Indian. He has an accent, like a English accent, but he's been called the N-word. So it's like at one point, hey man, we all in the same boat together. I don't know.
Somewhat. It's way more complex than that, but for the purposes of this podcast,
I mean, look, man.
we're not going to get into it. We're also not going to get into the fact that you were completely racist when you said that all Puerto Ricans are going to smack you upside the head. No, you did. You did,
No,
but
I'm
that's
saying,
okay.
I'm taking out the point.
It's
I'm
totally
like,
fine.
You're not going to talk to, and I said women, period. It's like, you're not going to talk to any woman in 2015 and tell them to shut up and not have someone
Yeah, I mean,
talk.
like there's
are
a
you
line.
crazy?
There's a line in the movie.
There's no way
There's a
he's
line
doing
in the
that.
movie when
People do it all the time.
And shit gets real because I say
No,
shut up to
sometimes
any
they
woman I know.
don't.
But there's a line in the movie where
no.
to back you up. There's
I'm
a
not
line.
doing it.
There's a line in the movie when the two women stand in front of the TV and they're like.
I love that.
They're like,
I
"Mom's
love
telling me
that
this," and it's like, you want to tell these two black women to leave?
You crazy. You are
Wait, we're
crazy.
talking about that. I thought you were talking about the scene with them
back you up.
together, though. The scene with them together. It's
that's a
Tyra
great scene.
Farrow. Tyra Farrow and Rosie Perez, where they're like combating each other, and she's like, "You won't give me my money." She's like, "I'm not giving you shit."
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like,
And, it's
"Damn."
fun. And even later when she's like, she's gonna give me some of the money, she gives her a look like, did I say
I was going to give you any money? Like, woman, I love that. That was great. So I really liked I thought both female supporting leads in this movie were like very strong characters. I mean, I don't like the way that Woody's character
agree. Okay,
treated,
I agree.
but
I agree.
I don't think the movie was saying that was right, and I thought that she stood up for herself
Gotcha.
somewhat anyway. But anyway, I want to know just quickly before we like get into the swirl, which we definitely have to get into. I think, and it should be bigger.
Oh Lord,
It should be bigger too because there's a lot of that. in
honestly,
this.
I'm not excited about it. But
I'm not
okay.
excited either, but I want to know for Jake and Amir, you guys' perspectives, because I'm just gonna. I bet you guys are being a little tepid about this race stuff right now, which is
Me, no, I'm diving right into it.
Jake
will say the N-word right now. No.
You don't have to do that.
The N-word.
But I want to know, like, are there any questions that you have, like where you're like, oh, I wonder, like, what do you guys think about this or whatever, like, and maybe not even just in the movie, but in general, you know what I mean?
Like an Ask a Black Man?
Yeah, like Ask a Black Man.
This is a new segment on Black Man.
Yeah, we
ask a Black Man.
Ask a black man. Does it have to be about the movie? Because I got.
No, it doesn't.
It has to be.
Well, that's our job. We'll tie into the movie.
Yeah, we tied into the movie. And Nick, do we have producer Nick, who I call earlier? So, do we have cool music for Ask a Black Man?
Yeah.
Yes,
Some
Nick
cool
said yes. This is a new list?
ask a black man, and just like for our listeners, they get whatever they get to ask questions. People can ask questions. Stop being mad for people asking questions.
Yeah, because you got to learn. That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. All right, cool.
Yeah, do you have any questions?
I was just going to ask if you have any questions.
We can ask each other questions.
All right, sure. What's it like? Why are they always like this one way? I get like to me, it almost boiled down to like who looks better in the movie, like whether it's like, and I felt like Woody was portrayed in a better light, like he was a better basketball player, even though like, and even Wesley like conned him at one point. And he was like, I'm not gonna run a con with anybody who's dishonest.
Right.
I think Wesley looked better in the movie.
I agree. I think Wesley...
Because he's the one that bails out Woody at the end. And he's the one who has the sage wisdom. He's also the one who can dunk. And he's also the one that didn't lose his lady.
How about this?
Wesley does dunk, or Woody does dunk.
I'll ask you this. I think it depends on what values you hold more dear, right?
Yeah.
So, like, do you think... And it was interesting in the way that Woody's talking about. Like, Woody was like, you're dishonest, right? And, like, Wesley's point was like, what are you talking about? You hustle people.
Yeah, you hustled
Your
him first.
whole thing is dishonesty. Like, that's the whole thing. That's what we were doing.
So
And
is that
just
baked
because-
inside me? Like, am I predisposed to sympathize with Woody?
Well,
that I think he's better than Wesley in this movie?
But I think
like that makes me inherently racist by accident.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's great, because I think Wesley's better, so
Shit!
I'm not racist. By accident.
I'm the first white person on the podcast.
No, I don't think so. I think
it has less to do with racism and more to do with like
Just the
how
value.
just the value system that we're raised up with. But to me, racism is linked into it because what happens is people go, well, look, these people have no values, right? But the reality is like, no, they don't have your values. Just because they don't have your values doesn't mean they have no values. You know what I mean? Like there's like, but that's the whole thing. People all say like there's no honor among thieves or whatever. So that to me, that's what Wesley was saying. It was like, yo, we're all freaking swindling each other.
Yeah.
And so your weird honor system, like I'm not abiding by that because like we didn't agree upon any rules. Like you can think whatever you want to think. The reality is this is what we're doing.
And at the end, even after they win the money at the end, which ultimately is why Woody's not with Gloria anymore.
Right.
He goes, "What should I have done?" And then Wesley's like, "You shouldn't have listened to me." And you're like, "What?"
And then he's like, well, why should I listen to you now? And he's like, I told you listen to your woman. He's like, but you were pressuring me. He's like, doesn't matter what. Who cares what I'm saying? But it's
Listen
true
to the
though.
woman.
It was like you should
Yeah, you
listen
should.
to the woman.
Like you should have done the better thing. Like you should have done what was the actual better thing, which was not gamble. You know. So like,
Right.
I think they are both. They both have issues. Like
For sure.
if I were Wesley Snipes, you need what you need, but you know that this guy shouldn't gamble again. Like you're the one who said to him, "You have a problem." So like, you know, you're not supposed to go to this guy and ask him for his help.
But also, he's like...
He didn't even tell him he got robbed, dude.
Yeah, he didn't even tell him that.
Yeah.
He never even knew.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
You think that Sizzler thing was a product placement, or...
Oh, no. Back
Is
in
that
the
you
90s,
ask a black man a question?
Back in the 90s,
Wait, why are you asking black men about Sizzler? You trying to say that all black men eat a Sizzler?
Yeah,
Is that true?
Back in the day, I used to go to Sizzler, bro. Like, the Sizzler used to be like, hey, Sunday after church, someone like, it's your birthday, you go to Sizzler. You do.
Are there any Sizzlers anymore?
There
There's
are.
one in L.A.
Are they all you can eat? Because I went to one
They
once.
all you can eat.
I went to one time and I just got a very normal amount of steak, and
Oh,
like
man.
it felt like I had to pay more for the steak. Like the salad bar was all you can eat.
Like it's all you can eat food, but if you want like the specialty stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
because you can still go to a buffet and get a meal.
Yeah.
So like that costs money.
Yeah.
But you
Man,
go-
I love Sizzler.
This is like on Melrose or something. Like I used to pass it when I used to.
Yeah,
live
That's
there.
when I ate it. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I'm
is it?
talking
Yeah.
about.
Do they still have those corn nuggets? They
I
like
haven't
deep
been
fried
there in
mashed
years.
potatoes and corn together. That's
This is the
Sizzler.
questions that
No,
they
it's
have
good.
nothing to do with the movie.
Those are very valid questions because I remember I went to Sizzler one time and it was so good. But I saw someone. Hold on, I saw someone. I never ate at a buffet again because I saw someone like stick their head under like
The sneeze guard.
glass barrier, the
Yeah.
sneeze guard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you about to do? And like the dude wanted to like smell it. I'm like,
no.
you nasty.
No.
mug.
Put it
Like,
on
you
a
gon-
plate.
Exactly.
plate and then smell it.
I have not.
Sizzler's a buffet?
Yeah, Sizzler's a buffet, brother.
Oh, weird.
All
I
you
didn't
can
know that.
eat.
Never
That's
been.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. if you live in DC, check
I
out the
didn't know
Golden
that it was a
Corral.
buffet.
Anything I know about Sizzler,
Go to
it's all you
Corral.
can eat. There's all you can eat.
Well, all you can eat pastas at Olive Garden. They bring the pasta to your table, so okay.
That's fucking dope.
Oh, you can eat pasta. I want options. If I go to Sizzler, I get spaghetti. I get.
Speaking of options,
Oh, listen, you trying to swirl right now?
It's
Is that
time for the
swirl?
swirl.
All right, I want to start the swirl by saying one thing in particular. I'm not going to touch Wesley Snipes because Wesley Snipes did something. I was so shocked when I saw this. His wife was a beautiful black woman and not a light-skinned woman. I'm not a colorist, but I just want to point out that she was dark-skinned because he was a lead. And normally in these type of movies...
I'm not a colorist.
Yeah, I'm not a colorist.
That's
I'm not a
saying.
shadist.
She made that up.
I'm not a shadist.
Kyra Farrell.
Okay, and the thing that's so important about it is that normally in these movies, she would have been like a light-skinned woman because the lead black dude somehow, if he's dating somebody, it's going to be a light-skinned woman. But he had a beautiful, strong... He had a black woman who, like... He literally in front of his boys was like, I'm not telling her to move in front of the game.
Yeah.
The game they own. He's like, that's the type of strength that I'm like, you don't see that. The only person I feel like I can really see something like that right now that exists is like Viola Davis. Like that strength that just like, oh my goodness. It felt so good to see her. So I'm not touching it. But there was a swirl in this movie.
There was.
Guys, I didn't like this swirl.
What happened?
Okay.
I didn't like this swirl at all because the swirl in this movie is a swirl I see all the time. It's the white man, no offense, guys,
It's fine.
with a woman
I'm not
of
white.
color. And the thing about it is, it's like this makes me sad about this swirl in this movie. Okay, it's 2015. If Jennifer Lopez was a star in a movie or in a TV show,
What if somebody's listening to this next year? and see that?
2016. I hope it's not the same. But in 2015, I'm pretty sure if you look at J-Lo or Halle Berry, their lead actor will be a white dude. Like they're romantic, and it's the thing is like because they had like 2 or 3 like sex scenes that were pretty like graphic. Like you saw them. The thing that was so interesting to me is like you saw a side boob, but it was like the emotion. It was like the aggression that was like
yeah.
It was like this is
The
like
movie was
more
very dark.
intense than what you normally see. And I'm like, this is a graphic sex scene with a white dude with a woman of color, and it's like, man. This right here still happens, and it made me sad a little bit because to me, like Rosie Perez, and I often watching this movie, I instantly compared Rosie Perez to Jennifer Lopez, and why Jennifer Lopez became who she was, even though Rosie Perez came out first and discovered it and was like the it person. And I think I get what it is. I think I get what it is only because, and I know this isn't even a swirl. No, I just ain't. No, this is not even a joke. This is not even a swirl. But it's like I think about what we talked about when we did Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I think that Rosie Perez identifies more with brown. I'm doing it in colors weird. I feel like she identifies more with like minorities than Jennifer Lopez does. Because Jennifer Lopez is more fair skinned. Her hair is kind of long and straight.
J-Lo doesn't even have an accent.
It's like hold on, because you already denied it. I feel like the thing is we talked about with like we talked about Once Upon a Time in Mexico. The reason you see like Antonio Banderas in them is because like they are visually sometimes closer to white, which makes them a little bit more acceptable. And I feel like Rosie Perez didn't represent that. Rosie Perez was in she was in these movies like with theme songs fight the power behind her, you know. And I'm looking at this movie, it's like to take her and put her with Woody Harrelson just made me sad. I was like, no, man.
Do you know what the movie Jennifer Lopez was first in that made her famous?
I understand Selena.
Yeah, Selena, dude.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, visually speaking,
I'll tell you why.
I feel like they rep. I look at her
Can
now.
I tell you why? The real reason why? It's because it has nothing to do with their skin color. Because their skin color is basically the same. Rosie Perez is very light skinned. She has an accent, I will give you that, but she's very light skinned. She's not darker than Jennifer Lopez. The fact of the matter is,
have you watched it?
The fact of the matter is, here, wait, can I just finish this point? The fact of the matter is, one, the way that Hollywood treats women is you are good for about 5 or 6 years when you're hot, and then they get rid of you. And the only time they don't get rid of you is if you're like Meryl Streep type, you know, Helen Mirren, like that level of acting, like incredible, and then they'll keep you around. Or if you are popular for another reason. Jennifer Lopez stayed around because of her music career. Her music career boomed, and it became bigger than her acting career, and then it helped her become an actor again.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard. This is why this is hard, because it's hard because you compare her to Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Lopez might be a bad example, but I do think that you bringing up that Rosie Perez has a bit more of an accent. She is a little darker, and so she does have these attributes about her that don't necessarily make her the most mainstream. I agree. I don't think it's hard to compare her to somebody because who knows why one goes one way than another. But I do think that those are valid points.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like to me, I guess as a darker skinned African American man, I see shades instantly. Only because growing up, it's like I realized I remember growing up as like to be on like paper bag test. It's like I am very confident.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I really-
what's
a paper bag
not
test?
darker skin than
she
Jennifer
actually.
Lopez.
I mean, that's actually.
In this
I mean, all right, we'll just.
I mean,
like,
that's actually. You can pull them up. That's actually.
yeah, we
correct.
will. There's
No, I think
way.
she.
I mean, she is.
I think she's like a little.
Rosie
Like,
Perez
I
definitely.
don't know. Like,
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I agree. I think that you can
just a
totally
question.
clean that. I've heard Hispanic people say that they think that the reason why certain people make it over other people, and I think Arturo even said something along these lines,
That's
right?
right,
Is that like more having more of an accent, being more?
I agree with the accent thing for sure. Like it's a different because accents like we
Hey,
aren't even doing the
whole
swirl.
time is the swirl music playing right now because this is great.
No, but the thing is, like, there was a swirl, but the swirl brought up a bigger point where it's like, I'm just curious
Look
about,
at
like...
this is what Jennifer Lopez looked like. Well, when Rosie Perez looked like with that. Do you feel like she's lighter skinned?
No, I'd say it's comparable.
Exactly.
It's yeah, sure. But like, but Rosie's accent is
I'm
more.
What do you think, James?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, James, Rosie Perez...
I do think that like, but it's hard, right?
Yeah, we
it's
already
hard
agree.
because like, what's his name? Marcus Houston, right? When he was an immature, and when he was doing Sister, he was dark on Sister than he was when he was doing immature, and I never understood it. I don't know.
It's a very...
I never understood.
It's an
How,
interesting thing.
how is he darker on? Yeah, but
Bruh, I don't know what you want to tell you. Like, they're two different
which is
shades.
why I kept saying in this movie,
I mean, of
she
course they're
looks
two different
darker.
shades, but it doesn't. They don't,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know how you're looking at.
Like because
Braylock
like
is still... Don't fight with me. He's looking them up, not me.
like sometimes people look darker than they are. It's other like that happens sometimes.
Yeah, like you could be
Anyway.
tan.
You
Exactly.
can
You could
be
be
tan.
tan.
So what's
Thank you, Amir.
Man, technically, there's no
no
swirl for me to have because there's 3 swirls.
The
in
thing
this
is, I
movie.
just really hope that the music was playing that whole time.
Yeah, I mean, technically, three swirls happened.
Wait, the swirls is
I
people
think she
fucking.
actually looks like
correct? So does Wesley Snipes does fuck his wife at
Yeah.
one point, but it's they're different
does he?
scenes. He does.
He does. It's a parallel scene.
I think this is
remember
sort of
that.
interesting to me. Like when Woody's fucking what's her face?
Rosie, yeah, Gloria.
Rosie Perez or
Gloria,
Gloria.
yeah,
Yeah, like
Gloria.
they're like it's raw, it's animalistic. Like they're fucking. He's like
Yes,
carrying her
yes.
in her clothes, fucking her in the shower.
Yes.
He's like fucking her
Yeah.
in his convertible.
Right.
And when Wesley has sex with his wife, it's like because he won that money, and they like it's very very
Candles,
romantic.
Right.
Making
And you
But
see,
now-
like, yeah,
but
you
now-
see like just stomachs, and it's slow, and that's
So
it.
How much does that have to do with race, and how much does that have to do with the fact that Wesley and his wife is his wife?
That's
and
I have no fucking
Woody-
idea. That's what I'm asking.
But
Girlfriend.
it's
Oh,
so
no.
interesting to look at this movie and to talk about that because all of your points about how Rosie Perez is just that character are totally valid because she is.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
these are those characters. Those characters are two people who are like wild, they're erratic, they do that, right? But then if you just think about like, well, how many Hispanic women are we seeing on screen just in life? And then like, okay, so that's the one we're seeing. She's wild and she's fucking this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so like sure which is why I said like I love this movie. I think this movie is great. I really do. But it's like, but that might be a problem of the movie. It might be.
I think, and I've made this one before on another podcast, but I think it has less to do with the problem with the movie and more to do with the problem with Hollywood.
Yeah.
because
Yes. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
because there isn't enough representation. Then you over analyze
Because
when
there's
there
not like
are
4
few
different
Yeah, exactly.
times.
So
it's
Hispanic
like
people in this
now-
movie.
So instead of like, because to me it's like she wasn't really that wild. Like if we really think about it, it's like the sex that they were having. It's like very normal. Like
Sure.
it's not
Yeah,
not
yeah.
unnormal, but it's like
But if you
because
have
where
the two
there's
to
a
compare.
right because there's a microscope. But like I said, like to me, if you compared like 2 young people, boyfriend girlfriend, and the sex that they're having to a couple that's been married and is trying to get a home and has a baby, it's like I can bet you 9 times out of 10 the boyfriend girlfriend are having wilder, crazier
Yeah, for
sex
sure, for sure.
than the
Right.
married couple who has a
Exactly.
child.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I understand what we're saying, like because it's like the only representation. And it's pretty much Rosie Perez and Jennifer Lopez.
Well, that is the problem with
Now they
Hollywood.
only
That it's like
come
that there has to be like one of everything in a movie, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, one black person,
Even
one
like what we're
Hispanic
talking
person,
about.
one Asian person.
Like,
Like, what does that person represent?
Yeah.
Like Amir was saying, like, who do they consider for this Denzel? Why? Because he was the only black. He's like Denzel. We talk about this all
Right,
the time.
they-
It's
like, that-
we
they
had to
wanted
talk about
him because he was
first and the other
Denzel.
one. Yeah. All right. Cool. No, this is very good on time. We're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
good.
okay.
It's time to get to the...
No, I just have a question. So, After Earth, is it a good movie? Like
After
Earth? because like if you think about After Earth, right?
What is happening?
After Earth
Jaden
is
Smith?
After Earth is a
With
Jaden
Jaden
Smith.
Who's darker,
Smith?
Will or Jaden Smith?
Yeah, that we're
well,
asking.
that's a good question. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about it. I don't know which
That's
one.
a good question.
Well, the question is
we-
if Jada is darker than Will, because if so, then
I would not encourage an After Earth hit. I would not encourage it.
What does After Earth have to do with this movie?
Well, so After Earth is about a man who has a family that he's trying to protect, and he's trying to make sure that his family stays afloat.
not really. He sends his son out freaking by himself
Well, because it's his only way.
to face the most dangerous planet ever.
But exactly, you don't think that once Wesley Snipes gets to a different point and his son grows up or his child grows up,
Can you stop?
that he's not gonna. No, I just.
Can we stop this?
It's just I thought it was a legitimate.
where's Wesley right now? What has he been in recently?
Oh, Wesley is on
'Cause
the
he was
player.
great
He's
in
on
this
the
movie.
player.
He's on the player, which is
player.
about to get canceled. But
Wait,
he's
he was in
also-
jail for a little bit, right?
He was in jail tax evasion because he said, as quoted by Chris
So
Tucker
is Martha
in the special,
Stewart.
Blade don't pay taxes. Yeah, that's not what's up. But
like, a quick
he's in
hit-
Chirac coming out. Chirac, check it out.
What's
December. Chirac is a movie that Spike Lee directed.
Oh, right.
It looks so good. It
About
looks so
Chicago
good.
being dangerous. Is
Yeah,
that
but
right?
it's also about they took the Greek play. Begins with an L.
I haven't seen the.
Basically, it takes a Greek play, and in the
Trailer,
play,
yeah.
in the play, it's like the women, like people, men of the town are warring. So the women decide to band together and stop having sex with the men to like, hey, if you want to have sex with us again,
Oh yeah. What is that play?
Lysistrata.
Lysistrata. Yes.
Lysistrata.
Yes.
So basically, they took that. So like the whole point of the movie is that the women are like, you know what? We keep killing each other. We got to stop this. What can we do? So they basically. Basically, they say in the movie, cut it off. Basically, closing their legs, and it's like to see what will happen because basically Nick Cannon and
Nick Cannon.
yeah, he's the only part that kind of throws it off, but he still. I think it's gonna be good.
Sorry, Nick. We love you.
Yeah, no,
Come on
I
the
think
show.
it's only,
This is gonna
it's
be
only
great,
because
actually.
yeah, Nick, we plan on having you on. Sorry, but it's like it looks different because you see Nick Cannon, but it's him and Wesley like warring, and it's like what happens if the women stop having sex and get the men.
Oh,
to
I
stop.
can't wait for this
Interesting.
movie.
It comes out soon. It's gonna be really good. It looks really good. Old school old school Wesley, old school Spike Lee.
I just imagine people like when you said like when like Wesley Snipes went to jail, people were like, yeah, of course. Martha Stewart went to jail.
Was it also for tax evasion?
No, for I think worse.
Even worse, like
It was like
insider
kids.
trading?
It was
Inside trading. Yeah.
Damn, that was, oh my god.
So
It's time for the cause.
time for the cost.
The cause.
Great. So as you guys may know, the cause we don't rate like our B+ ratings are out the window now. It's just like how did this film help the cause of leading black actors in Hollywood? Does this film help more leading people of color be in like movies, bunch of movies? Great.
Yeah.
So we get either a black fist, a white palm, or nothing. For you guys, it'll be a white fist.
Or a white palm?
White fist, white palm.
Or nothing. That's funny. Should they do the black cause or should they do Woody Harrelson?
It helped white people, I think. It really did.
Let's do two. We'll do
I
two
can
rounds.
dump.
We'll do two rounds. We'll do two rounds. We'll do two rounds. So first is should we do the real round first?
I guess the real round.
The Wesley
The
Snipes
real
one?
round. Oh, no. We should do the fake round.
We should do the
first.
fake
Okay,
one.
the
We
fake
should do the fake
round.
one because it's
The what is it? The same rating though? Do we give a
Same
black
rating.
fist
It's a
for
white
A white fist,
a white fist.
a white palm.
Okay, great.
Or
And
nothing.
nothing.
Did this help the cause of more leading white actors?
Wait, hold on. But it's the palm because now we're doing it for the white man. Is it a tan palm or is it like a brown palm?
Yeah, pink palm.
A pink palm.
Pink palm's nice.
Pink palm.
Great.
Yeah.
So a white fist,
A pink palm or nothing.
Great.
Did this movie help the cause of leading white actors in Hollywood? All right, great.
Let's do it.
Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
White palm.
Nothing.
Wait.
Shit, I don't announce.
Wait,
Sorry.
nothing is nothing, right? I don't do
nothing
anything.
is
Wait,
nothing.
I'm confused because you shouted something.
I thought we all said it at the same
different
time.
than you think. No, we're just throwing it out.
Where did you get it?
All right, two. We got two.
Two white fists.
James
white
gave it
fists.
a white fist. Gerard gave it a white fist. I actually gave it a pink palm.
I meant to say white fist.
Yeah. He had it in the
For
time.
some, it just sounded weird when he said white fist.
Jake said that's 3
I didn't
white
like
fists.
saying it. That's why I stuttered.
Jake gave it a white fist. Amir gave it nothing.
Amir gave it nothing.
I think we were fine before the movie and after. Yeah, we're good.
That was my point for giving it a
Yeah.
fist.
We
don't need
We don't need that. Yeah.
That's my point for giving it a fist. It's
Yeah.
like this movie. Yeah, everything is.
We're good, yeah. Hunky dory pre and post white man can't jump.
We're good.
Yeah. The only reason I gave it White Palm is because it only had one main white actor, and
Right.
I was just like, oh, well, every movie has more than this.
But this showed that white people can be in movies with a bunch of.
Damn, you're right. I changed it. You guys were right.
So
The final frontier.
Technically, I feel like Amir, yours is a white fist, but you just did it in a realistic way. It's like this movie.
Yeah,
Every movie's a white fist to me.
We're good.
Every day is a white fist.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, like it's white fists all around. We're good.
Great. So let's do
Wesley.
So let's do Wesley and leading black actors.
Black actors. Okay.
All right. I actually don't really know.
I don't really know, but I also kind of know too.
Okay, ready?
Hold on. Give me a second. Just go ahead. I just put it up.
I know. Okay, I'm going to count
I
down.
don't know what to do
and we're just
now.
going to throw it up. Top flip. All right, 3, 2, 1.
You guys put it up? My eyes are closed.
I put it up.
Put it up.
I closed my eyes too.
Put it up. Oh.
Jake's the odd white man out. Jake, why don't you speak about African Americans?
Jake, don't worry.
It looks like I'm like hailing Hitler when I do it too.
Oh, it's what you hope?
Everybody gave it a black fist, except for Jake. He gave it a.
I just care. I care about the plight. I really do.
He cares more.
It didn't do enough.
I'm interested because I was torn. I didn't know.
I was torn,
And I was
too.
between. I literally thought any one of them would work.
I know.
So
So did I. I just thought that I didn't want to like give it too much credit if you guys weren't going to. I heard on the side of.
He was shaved and it give it.
I didn't know. I was torn, but should.
I think that's. I would love to know.
What's your white explanation? Sorry.
yeah.
Well, all right. So I thought it helped the cause because it had an entire cast of black people.
Right.
So rather than just Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, so it was
True.
a big cast. And then I thought it wasn't a full black fist because it had a white writer.
Great. Oh, great.
And so you
Thank
feel
you.
like
It was actually a black writer.
You feel
I
like-
messed up earlier.
That's great. I changed.
No, but that's I don't change.
no, but so you feel like because there was a white writer, like they didn't fully
The experience we were talking about that was left out.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Because what's great about that is you could also argue it's a totally valid, but you could argue the opposite point of a white
Right, that it was more collaborative.
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, like
Well, continue. Well, to explain your.
Well, so the reason I gave it a fist and I chose to keep it as a fist, I was thinking about it's a full mostly black cast. They went on to do other movies together, so like that it just this movie being a success helped that, and helped. Like, this movie could have sucked, and they could have still had a 3-picture deal or whatever, but maybe people wouldn't have gone to see the other movies, you know what I mean? So, that was great. I thought that, they were tackling something that was probably interesting, super interesting to, delve into at the time, black and white. It's about black and white. Can they come together? And they do. What else? And then in thinking about the collaborative effort of, a white guy wrote this movie and, didn't... the black people, it's not shitting on the people of color, really. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's he wrote real characters, real people, and then, which, to some degree you can see some elements of, that's a little cartoony, I guess, but, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need digestible cartooniness for people to be you know what, I accept this, and I will see more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I gave it a fist. I'm gonna keep it at a fist because I remember '92. Wesley Snipes was the man to me. Wesley Snipes was the man growing up, and it's this is one of the movies that helped him because this movie here, because whether or not him and Woody Harrelson shared billing, the fact that he was on that poster together, it was he was opened up to a brand new audience, not a New Jack City audience, not a Jungle Fever audience, but it was because Woody Harrelson was coming from a lot of he had a lot of good movies at this point. So, he was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, the fact he was top billed with Woody Harrelson helped to get him a bunch of movies after this. And they did, Money Train. And technically, in Money Train, Wesley is the lead of that one. He is the good guy, if you will, out of the two of them. And it's I think it helped in that respect. And I think that the movie attempted to discuss race and, what ails both blacks and whites without, passing judgment on either, except for that one line I guess Woody Harrelson does. But even with that line, it's kind of like tossing up the question without answering it. So I think it did well.
Yeah, I'm trying to see because I think Wesley was in Major League before this, which is also he wasn't the main guy. But I was trying to see when Passenger 57 came out.
Woo, Passenger 57,
which we wanted to do. That came out the same year.
Busy dude.
Same year, 92.
Wesley.
He could have paid taxes.
So probably
He could have paid
taxes.
Honestly, he just should have.
He just used one of the movies to pay for the other movie. That's
Yeah.
You can sort of convince yourself you're evading taxes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I gave this movie a fist. I think mostly because here's the thing. I like when movies have real African American, influence in it. Like when I say that, because I obviously there's a white writer, but like there is like they're talking about African American culture in a way that's real. It's like it's for real. Like this is like what's happening, right? But it's not doing it in a way where it's just like everybody's a gangster, everybody's a hustler, everybody's a bad guy. Like I didn't feel like the movie was doing that, right? And I just want to give it up for quick.
I was stalking Rosie Perez on so
Kadeem
Hardison, Dwayne Martin's also in it.
Oh, Dwayne Martin is in it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about them, but they're amazing actors, and they also had. I mean, they didn't have leading acting careers really. I mean, Kadeem was in
Six Man.
Yeah,
he was in Six Man. That's the most
A Different World.
And then A Different World is what I was going to say. He's like the lead in A Different World, which is a TV show. But and he was awesome in it. He was the guy. He was the dude who was like who Wesley takes the money from, and he's like, oh yeah, we going to is it Sizzler?
Yeah.
We're going to Sizzler. He's that dude. That's his money. That's his house.
Who doesn't want to?
It's Sidney Dean's house.
Yeah. But anyway, like, I just thought that the movie handled that stuff well in a way that wasn't like, it wasn't over. It wasn't like being. What am I trying to say? Like, it wasn't on a soapbox. Like, it wasn't being like preachy, and it wasn't. But it also wasn't just like being careless with the way that it was portraying race.
For sure.
It was a middle ground that, for me, I like personally. I could see some people having problems with it, and there were some things that I thought were questionable, but I kind of give it a pass because, like, all the things we were saying, like, helps Wesley, it helped Woody Harrelson's career too,
for sure.
And it helped these other actors too, like, and I think people can go back and like, oh man, this is a way you can do a film about African American culture in a way that's not disrespectful, but also still truthful, dealing with the things that they have to deal with, like. The main thing of Wesley Snipes, he wants to get out the ghetto, which was like, that's real, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think nowadays, hey guys, if you're in the hood, stay, help fix it up. Because when you leave...
Oh, that's really easy for you to say?
No, I'm saying, I didn't realize that till now. It's like, my family left, but it's like, hey man, let's stay, try to fix it up. That way, people won't get kicked out of their homes. Let's try to build. No, I understand.
I know, but not when you're trying to... Not the safety of your freaking
child.
I know.
It's a very tough thing, but I'm just saying, think about it.
Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, me and my mom and dad and my we were in the hood for a bit.
He's just not. God, he's just shaking his head. He's like, oh, why did I?
Yeah, I can't even go over with the bit.
So, Jake, it's Amir. You're our last.
No, I mean, you guys said what I already agree with. It certainly didn't hurt. It taught me and other of my white friends about black culture in a way that wasn't just gangsters,
right.
Which is positive.
Right.
And it actually made other, like Money Train is legit another movie that existed because of White Men Can't Jump.
Exactly. So, yeah, we finally did it, yo. We did the film White Men Can't Jump.
Thank you,
guys.
the way.
Thank you for coming on.
People were asking.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
seriously, man. Hey, just so y'all know, Jake and Amir, only white guys gonna be on the show for a while.
Thank you.
We ruined it for everybody else.
Don't be trying to be like, hey.
Honestly, I think we can cap it at.
Unless we get
they can come back.
We'll come back for Money Train, the sequel.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Money Train. Next time you're in town, we'll do Money Train.
Or when you guys are in LA.
Yes.
All right. Oh, anything? I mean, we'll plug Headgum Podcast. If I were you,
yeah,
that's all we need. And we already shouted out Spreaker. Let's just shout out
Spreaker.
Nick one time.
Spreaker. There we go.
That's Nick. All right, that's all for us. But any last words?
Rosie Perez, if you're listening to this, This is not the Sound Stalkers. I recorded a podcast last week, and it was near where you live, and I wanted to just stop by and say, "Hey, Rosie Perez," but you know, if
just
you
go to the
this,
taping of The View, man.
she's not on The View no more. So listen,
they
see,
kicked her out.
I'm a fan, Rosie. I knew. I knew.
James.
Yeah. What does your mama's an astronaut mean? Like,
Oh my God!
Good point. What
I can't believe
It's such a positive thing to
Yeah.
say.
What does it mean?
And then what does it mean? My mom is
it.
too drunk to be an astronaut. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
I
It's
wrote
good
that
she's too
down.
drunk
Your
to be
mama's an astronaut. I was like, what?
what does that
could
even
that
mean?
mean?
That's
What does it
my
mean?
my
Hey, guys.
closing thoughts are somebody explain
Tweet
that
us.
to me.
Let us know what that means because I didn't know that either.
I didn't know what
Y'all
that
are astronauts
Maybe that
if you don't
she's so
understand.
Yeah, like, what is it?
She's
I
so
think it's a
fat that
space-
she's in the stratosphere.
No, I think it's like a
No
space
idea.
head. Like they're dumb or something.
True.
Like
It's
that.
got to be something.
Yeah, because they say like I mean, she
I thought it's gotta
not
be
dealing
sexual.
with whatever she's supposed to be dealing with. I don't know.
I like it's gotta be
That's what I thought it
sexual
was,
because
too. I was-
for people to get that mad about someone disrespecting their mom, it has to be like someone calling your mom like a hoe or something, right?
Yeah.
Because like that would get you said what? I'm ready to stab you.
Your mama's so dumb. She needed a recipe for ice cubes.
You messed that up.
I know.
Nice.
All right, Nick, can you cut it off?
All right,
Can we cut this off?
That's it for us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
All right, y'all. It's James the Third here in the studio with a few plugs. First of all, you got to follow Black Men Podcast at Black Men Podcast on Twitter. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, and we have a website sponsored by Squarespace. You got to check that out. All right, and you can follow me at James Third Comedy. Third is 3RD. You can follow Jonathan Braylock at John Braylock, and Jerah Milligan is also on Twitter at Hollywood Reject, and the wood in the zero in wood is the O is a Z. See, I'm confused trying to say it, but you can find them. We're all on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you know what? Next week, that movie. We watching Star Wars Episode 7, baby. We did it. We made it. Black people in space. So y'all got to check that out. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.
That was a HeadGum podcast.